Hey guys, it's Beer Taster America. I'm out here at a spot I've never been to before. It's real close to where I usually hike out to, but it's just a little bit different spot. And just taking in the views here. This is kind of a neat part of the desert because a fire came through here. I don't know how many years ago. It was before I moved here, so it's been more than 4 or 5 years ago. If you look over there, you can see all these little trees, little green trees growing, this Palo Verde. And you can see they just stop. And I'm up in this area where there are none. This area gets pretty big. I mean, I say it probably goes a couple square miles. Where there's a fire back here, they just burned off a lot of the stuff. And you see like burnt pieces of wood here and saguaro cactus skeletons mixed in. You can see a dead one back there that's still standing. Like located on this. They have a skeleton like that inside. Anyway, I digress. I'm just appreciating this nice spot here. And I'm enjoying it with Shocktop, Belgian white, Shocktop. Now, if my memory serves me correctly, this is basically an InBev, excuse me guys, an InBev product. And I think this is InBev's response to Blue Moon. Blue Moon came out first. It's brewed by Coors, which is part of, I don't know if it's part of, but it's related to like Miller. It's Miller Coors together, SAB Miller. So that's kind of, you know, one huge conglomerate. And they have Blue Moon. And so InBev, the biggest huge beer conglomerate, they got together and they put this out as a response. It's Shocktop. It's a Belgian white. Belgian style wheat ale. Brewed with citrus peels and coriander. Now they have some kind of weird instructions here about pour it halfway one way, then the other half swirl it, and this and that. You know, they tell you to swirl it around and all this stuff. I don't know. I don't have a glass I'm pouring it into, so I'm just going to try to swirl it like this because it says I have to do that if I want to release the aroma and flavor. And you know me, I want to release that aroma and flavor, so I'm going to swirl it around a bit. Here we go. Alright, and I like Blue Moon. I'm just going to preface this review by saying I like Blue Moon. I've drank my fair share of Blue Moon. I've only had a couple of these ever, so I'm not that familiar with it. Let's see how it compares. Let me give it a smell. It smells sweet and malty, and it smells a little bit like adjuncty, honestly. It just smells like sweet and malty, a little bit musty. I shouldn't say adjuncty, it's more like there's like a slight mustiness to it. Tastes a little bit like a musty, sour, orange kind of smell, malty. Just smells okay. I remember Blue Moon smelling a little bit better than this. This just almost smells generically like beer and with a little bit of a citrusiness to it. It's not a bad smell, but nothing too special. Let me give it a taste. You taste that coriander. There's a clear coriander sort of flavor, and a mild citrusiness, and a sweet maltiness. It's not a bad flavor at all. This is very easy drinking. It's a very easy drinking sort of beer. But the body isn't super light. It's like a medium, borderline light and medium sort of body to it. And average carbonation. There's not much by way of bitterness. There's really not much bitterness at all. Very, very slight at the end. I'd say this beer is very similar to Blue Moon. It's modeled on Blue Moon, but it's made to be just a little bit easier to drink. Kind of sweeter, almost less beer-like, just like sweet, easy to drink kind of malt beverage. That's my impression of it. I like it. I think it's nice to drink. Like, I'm sure, you know, I'm sure a lot of females probably like to drink this. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It just has like that milder, less, you know, harsh beer-like thing going to it. I shouldn't even say harsh, just strong. It's less strong in flavor than your typical beer is. It's real mild and easy to drink. And I think that's a good thing. I don't say that would detract from this. I think that kind of is what this beer is all about. That makes this beer, because it has those qualities. It's not a kind of beer, if you want to really savor something complex, you're not going to drink this, but if you want something that tastes, you know, like a nice spiced, that coriander flavor is, I think, real nice in this. There's mild citrus, kind of sweet and malty, and, you know, mildly bready kind of flavor. It's not super light, though, is the thing. A lot of times beers that are trying to capture that, they go light. This beer, the body is not really that light. I think a few of these would fill you up pretty quick. Overall, it's nice. There's nothing harsh or cheap or adjuncty really about it. I mean, it's clean. And I don't know, I'd say there's nothing adjuncty about it, but there's just like this kind of like mustiness, a little bit of mustiness that lingers, and I don't know if that's from, I'm trying to figure out what ingredient that is, if it's not like a corn adjunct. I don't know. I think there's no adjunct in this, but I'm a little bit suspicious. But anyway, it's not bad, guys. I like it. I think it has its purpose, has its place, and serves its purpose, and it's not bad. You know, if you know someone who doesn't really like beer, maybe they like wine coolers or like cider, hard cider instead, they probably would like this if they gave it a try. I think it's not too bad, and it's enjoyable, and I think I'd rather have a Blue Moon, because to me Blue Moon is a little bit more complex as a beer. This a little bit, you know, super smooth and drinkable. I mean, they're both good and both serve their purpose. I think it's pretty good, guys. It's Shocktop. It's not great. It's not a knock you out kind of beer, but knock you out, it's so good. You can't stop talking about it. It's so complex and rich. This beer isn't like that, but it's a nice, enjoyable brew. Under the right circumstance, it's nice. It almost has a little bit of like an orange soda kind of thing going to it, but it's in a good way, not in a cheap, bad way. I like it. I think it's good. Let me know what you think, guys. Shocktop. Enjoy.